time here. Not sure if we've got a button check or anything, but should at least be able to okay, so it actually, yes, it is going to be Snake versus Mega Man. Not surprising that we have ApolloKage starting out on the main here. We'll just have to see how this game goes, especially since you said MPG, one of the more aggressive Mega Mans, definitely combo-oriented, always scouting out for the up airs. And of course, those very long combos as well, like how we saw against Lima earlier today, able to get a jab block with C-drop Metal Blade into an up tilt. Just crazy execution from this guy, and already we have an up air forward air coming out, racking up tons of damage, but also taking grenade damage himself here. The percents are even, but it feels like only MPG has hit ApolloKage so far.
I mean, right now, it's there's so many factors that MPG has to worry about, especially with the grenade trading. I would be worried if ApolloKage, just like that, starts using the Metal Blade against MPG, but Leaf Shield is going to be a huge factor to keep MPG's stage presence. Like, holding the center right now, this is exactly where I would want to be if I was MPG, but not getting caught by the Nair 1. That is not where you want to be in any situation for that.
It's such an insane sort of thing to be watching a Snake as well, and having Nair 1 actually be one of the dominant neutral threats as well, because we haven't seen very many grenades get pulled at all here from ApolloKage. Just instead opting to go for options like run up shield, going for short hop back air and neutral, trying to use the lingering frames on that move and get some chip damage out that way instead of by using the grenade, which at this point would be really lethal and sacrifice a lot of stage positioning to get pelleted.
Yeah, and doing a good job right now of just covering a lot of the offensive options out of shield on the side of ApolloKage. Not dead just yet, but that back air is putting MPG at a dangerous percent maximum rage, but all for naught. The Nikita secures the stock.
Yeah, and again, we had a little bit of a long stock there as well. I mean, almost 300, I think almost over 300% taken net there between the two characters on screen right now. And I wouldn't, you know, it's not outside the realm of possibility to say that that's going to be the norm in this set for two characters like this who are both exceedingly heavy and have a ton of chip damage to offer on each other. Just going to be racking up the percents. I mean, it felt like in the first 5 seconds there, both players were already at 70 plus, and now ApolloKage ascending over 200, but the back air from MPG finally going to seal that one out.
And doing a good job right now, just kind of taking it slow, waiting for ApolloKage to drop these grenades and set up that network. Very good mindfulness of the C4, but still just feels like it's a little bit of chip damage every single time. MPG taking little by little at 111 right now, and the up tilt secures the stock. ApolloKage in a great position to secure game 1 by slowing down the tempo.
I have to say, I love how we're seeing ApolloKage use these grenades, because while there is a stock advantage now, so he might be a little bit more okay with just pulling them and holding them, what we saw when he was pressuring MPG in the corner just a moment ago was actually that he was picking them up and then Z-dropping them onto the platform as a way of coverage, because allowing the grenade to stay on yourself in this matchup is just inviting that either shield damage or massive damage from pellets and the grenade. So I love the way that ApolloKage is basically like sort of revolutionizing this matchup, it almost feels like, as I'm watching.
And one thing that I like to see is that MPG is trying to threaten ApolloKage off stage, but using the hard knuckle. But not just that, it's the Metal Blade at the ledge that has really had me excited, and barely dodging the C4 right now. AK at 166, it's nothing but rage at this point. We have to get rid of that stock if you are on MPG.
ApolloKage getting really comfortable there on the platform, just shielding it out there, knowing that he had no grenade on him. Just to be able to chill for a little bit, maybe buy himself some time here. Not at all willing to go in, make a big commitment here. Although, as I say that, the dash attack actually coming out from ApolloKage, and off the back of that, a forward air from MPG going to find ApolloKage. And again, I think almost at 200% was ApolloKage at the end of that stock.
Not still, like we said, at 200%, Snake is pretty heavy, and so is Mega Man. It's going to be a matter of finding early confirms for both of these players. MPG just looking to chip little by little, using those lemons to whittle away at AK's percents. And I like the idea of going for that back air out of the air shooter, but just not enough to connect. Getting it closer and closer. 89 on the board, and whoop!
Yeah, I think he actually used the C4 on himself there, trying to go for a high recovery. I'm pretty sure his recovery would get checkmated by MPG there, by the forward air, if he had decided to go low. So really great recovery optimization there by ApolloKage, knowing and being willing to take that damage. And a game that felt pretty unachievable from MPG at a 1-stock deficit earlier is now feeling intensely doable. 150% on ApolloKage. He just needs one more forward air, back air, F smash even being shot from center stage right now as MPG gets comfy inside of that Pokeball.
Yeah, doing a great job of just trying to whittle down the shield of ApolloKage to find any way they can to get in. There are so many kill options on the side of Mega Man, whether it could be the Fair, Bear. There are just tons of options. I like the use of the Crash Bomber as well when ApolloKage is off stage, but have to be so careful.
The shield the C4 for the platform pressure into back air. They're finally going to convince MPG to drop that shield. Leaf, and then a Leaf shield coming out. New type of shield dropping right now.
And still just back and forth between the two of these players right now. The percentage have just been evened up. It is a battle of tooth and nail. It's just will of both players. And the F smash connects, and a little pop off on the side of MPG.
MPG definitely happy to take that one away. This is going to be an intense set, I can already tell. Not going to be outside the realm of possibility for these games to go just as long as that one did, and with just the level of intensity as that one just showed us. Now, I will say, I think, you know, MPG was definitely had something cooking there at the end. Tried to actually go for a forward throw, and I think had ApolloKage not reacted and DI'd in time, it actually would have just ended the game there at 180% and almost max rage on MPG, but still going to be able to fall back into the center stage, eventually close that one out.
Yeah, that is a huge, very, very tense last hit situation from both of these players. It shows the mastery of Snake on ApolloKage, so I wouldn't change a thing right now. I'm okay with the stage selection if I am on the side of AK, but one thing I think I might change is just how you're controlling MPG's movement.
Yeah, FD, a very interesting pick here. Definitely going to make the game go even slower of a pace right now, you'd have to imagine. No more platforms to pressure, no more combos to get an extension off of. Instead, just hard landings being punished here. Many, many times will we see Snake be forced to go back and return to the ledge, but then again, it's just going to be that much harder for MPG to escape the corner as well here.
I mean, look at how MPG is just able to use the rush to kind of just get around some of these ledge traps that AK is setting up. It's back and forth between both these players. AK doing a good job of using the grenades to deter MPG from jumping on him, but we've seen this before. MPG can just rack up damage so fast off of one bad mistake.
ApolloKage, it seemed like that Cypher barely avoided the down air there from MPG, but nonetheless, ApolloKage back on stage, only 40% here, while MPG looking at over 100. C4 going to be dropped there. Yeah, ApolloKage definitely going to get comfy in this side of the stage. Using, again, that long-lasting back air, which has done so much work in this matchup, it feels like, because it clanks with the pellets, has so much priority, and then it's only a matter of time, of course, once you're at that percent, before ApolloKage is going to find the killing blow.
I think one of the things that I want to see, at least on the side of MPG, is stopping ApolloKage from setting up a wall where, because there are no platforms for you to escape to, there's really no way to oppress Kage. And as I say that, the hard knuckle takes away an early stock, and we are back into a pretty even game.
Yeah, excellent call out there on the air dodge from ApolloKage, from MPG, actually. Going to be able to time that down air accordingly and bring this back, you know, to an even stock game. But as you said, of course, the wall of projectiles, or really rather just the zone of projectiles that's active right now with these grenades and with the C4, really, really not allowing MPG to play the game he wants to. Not going to allow for that aggression that he's so known for. Instead, going to require a lot of patience to get around. And right now, ApolloKage really just showing that MPG might not have it.
I mean, look at how much of a lead ApolloKage has slowly whittled down off of MPG just from controlling where he is allowed to start with Leaf Shields. It hasn't really been a factor this game, but not even that. The Metal Blade has just not really been in MPG's hand. The stage control is going well on the side of AK, and MPG is just constantly scrambling, trying to find a way to poke at Kage.
Yeah, ApolloKage repeatedly picking up the Metal Blade and then just Z-dropping it right back down there, trying to make sure that the timer doesn't reset so it despawns, and instead, you know, keeping it there on the stage, denying one more precious resource from MPG's neutral, because again, Mega Man is the type of character where you want to have as many variables to your approaches and your defense as possible, and ApolloKage being able to just take one away is really spelling a very difficult game here for MPG.
Yeah, trying to find any way they can to at least continue this pressure. MPG knows Kage can really be taken out, but a little bit of an overcommitment on the side of MPG with the down air, and you have to respect the really, really careful placement of C4 by Kage. Slight overcommitment, not enough, and the up air.
Wow, okay, not quite going to take out the blue bomber just yet here. Up air, though, is still an exceedingly strong move, but if you want to talk about strong, we got to talk about the back air. Metal Blade and a back air confirmed. Finally, being able to use that resource to its fullest extent there is MPG. Now ApolloKage not quite having to approach here if he doesn't want to. Just going to drop the grenades again. Maybe a C4 going to come out, but this is still a really difficult situation to be in because you eventually have to end the game against MPG. And forward air actually, wow, going to take it off the top. Very interesting decision there from ApolloKage, but I think it really just came down to a timing mix-up there. He'd been using so much short hop back air there as a way to try and stuff out those pellets, and he finally just said, I'm just going to let this forward air rip, and got the game off it.
Doing a great job of just setting up the game overall, but up air just really was a pretty good scenario to set up from Kage. We thought it might have been a kill, but I think just the way MPG is playing disadvantage was almost a little bit scrambly is how I would describe it. Like, you're trying to grasp at straws and find any way to get your feet back on the ground against Kage. But I think the number one thing MPG needs is a platform to make sure he can trap ApolloKage and kind of keep that pressure on.
Exactly, yeah. Platforms will make landing easier. There'll be more to pressure with that up air. Incredible sequences we've seen all this weekend from MPG out of those up airs. And also, I mean, MPG just not really willing to go to the ledge in that last match there on FD. Obviously a terrible place to be versus Snake with the option coverage that grenades and C4 provide, but definitely still, you know, now we don't have to worry about that anymore here on small battlefield.
Yeah, but now I can see MPG kind of carrying over his strategy from the end of the last game, which was able to bring him back into a position where it could have been a winnable game. And it's just slowly shooting lemons and throwing the Metal Blade at ApolloKage to try and tear through these grenades.
And ApolloKage actually going to let that Metal Blade go away. Just going to go for the Nikita, then netting him a little bit of damage there. Under the platform now is ApolloKage. Got the C4 nestled neatly on top there. Grenades just going flying across the stage now. MPG trying to read a jump out of there, but instead just going to get some damage on Leaf Shield. And again, this is very much shades of game one here, where these guys definitely both went from about 20% apiece to about 100 just in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, just trying to wait out this grenade pressure, and couldn't really get the follow-up there off of that detonation, but MPG in a pretty solid situation, has to find their footing, and good shield hold, but the back air clutches out for Kage.
That back air does so much work in this matchup, Ducks. I feel like you don't see that move, especially on stage ever, but here against these pellets, and you know, especially at high percent there, when even the weaker hitboxes are going to be able to take it off the side, it's just such an incredible tool that this character has access to.
Yeah, and now MPG just having to find some way to at least close out these stocks. Kage doing a very good job of walling out and not letting MPG remotely near them to get some of the kill confirms that we've been seeing them get, whether it's down throw into back air or just a raw fair in general. It's just been so hard to break through this oppressive wall of explosions.
And MPG definitely on the back foot here right now. Almost 100% to his name, 144 to ApolloKage. Gonna want to be able to end the stock right now, but instead, somehow, someway, ApolloKage finds a miracle grenade to take it off the top as MPG was just positioning to edge guard.
And now Kage still finding ways to survive at these high percents with maximum rage. 196, it's still not enough. MPG struggling to find the killing blow. But it's not. It just looks like Kage has finally altered their defense and adapted so well that MPG has to make a totally unique game plan now from where they previously were.
Yeah, the creativity of ApolloKage definitely being, definitely that was the period in the sentence, that interaction we just saw off stage. But MPG still letting everyone know he's no slouch here, going to be able to take a stock at least in this game and maybe look to take it back here with a little bit of finesse.
Yeah, and just really good control right now. AK using the C4 to deter MPG from coming in and trying to swing at them, but still momentum is just heavily in AK's favor despite MPG holding down the center stage. Metal Blade still just not getting the combo starters that we were seeing in game one.
MPG now just going to resolve to putting on the corner pressure on ApolloKage here. A Metal Blade in the back air, not quite going to take it yet. Percents away from that stock just going flying, but instead ApolloKage given one last lease at life here to put down these grenades, defend the C4, keep himself protected under this platform here as he continues to mount damage onto MPG.
Still trying to find any way they can to whittle back this lead. AK sitting at dangerously high percents, and we know that MPG has found ways to bring this game back. It still just feels like there is such a wall of pressure that AK has created, and it's basically the entire stage is his.
Yeah, and look at all, just you take a moment to, you know, to look at the screen right now. You see all the explosions going off. We had 2 platforms going at once, and then a little section of the stage as well. Absolutely just horrific to try and approach here if you're MPG, but somehow finding the forward air through all of that. Now this game is in a last stock scenario here. Moving on, this is a big one to determine the momentum going into the rest of this set, because this determines who is going to be on match point here.
It feels like the adaptations from AK are just slowly racking up, and anything can really close out these stocks here with such a small blast zone. The up tilt doesn't connect, and now AK just basically using any option, whether it's back air or up tilt. MPG is in a pretty dangerous spot.
MPG definitely playing like he's got a lot less percent than he does have on him right now, just looking for one of those big combo starters as we've known in his play, but instead ApolloKage gonna just take matters into his own hands there, ending the game early, stopping the bleeding there, and now we'll move into this game 4 on set point.
And this is huge. We've seen AK clutch these positions before, but MPG not to be counted out just yet. I would like to see the stage open up just a little bit. We saw great success on PS2, but running right back to small battlefield, I can't blame MPG if it's a comfort picked.
Yeah, small battlefield. I mean, again, I feel like we've seen games like this before, honestly, like with Kobe versus Rob already just earlier in this block, but it really all comes down to who is able to get that lead, because when it comes down to it, neither of these characters really want to be the ones that have to approach.
I mean, AK is just snowballing this lead right now. 101 put onto MPG, and it is so hard to find a way to get in on AK right now. The C4 even basically constricting what options MPG is allowed to go for.
That C4 there on the shield, absolutely massive though, but you have to remember grenades definitely being a restricted use a lot in this set here, although that could all change and become a very devastating memory of the past if MPG is not able to find a way to steal out this stock first.
Yeah, there is just been so much pressure, but man, that up tilt is so devastating. Even on heavy characters like Mega Man, AK really showing why they are a master of Snake.
ApolloKage here again, just being given the opportunity now to try and come back, but instead MPG just almost instantly going to bring us back to a neutral state here in game 4.
Yeah, but now it feels like MPG has been so swingy in their decisions right now, where they're able to find one spike and they get momentum. It's like, all right, I can do this. I finally found a way to get through, but have to respect the C4.
From one platform pressure sequence of Mega Man to Snake to the C4 ping-ponging around between them. This is definitely an incredible game right here. Still very much even. C4 stuck right to Snake's forehead as well. Eventually going to fall off there right at center stage, though. Let's see if ApolloKage is able to maybe line some other resources around to force MPG off stage. Yes, he is. Here we go with the up air. Already mounting incredibly high percents here for MPG. Jab, jab. Not going to finish that one out. Instead, looking for a trump in a back air. Look at the creativity on this player.
One thing I will say is just the diversity of aerials from ApolloKage. It's so great to watch to show the full utilization of a character's toolkit. And the up tilt, Old Faithful taking out another stock, and ApolloKage putting MPG on checkmate.
I absolutely agree with what you had to say about the aerials, because, I mean, if you told me I was going to be watching Mega Man versus Snake and one of the games was going to be ended at top level, by the way, by an on-stage forward air, I would tell you were crazy. But ApolloKage just that good. MPG, though, not letting us forget that he is, too. Another down air to seal another stock here. So decisive and exactly what he needs here if he wants to come back and make this a set.
You have to find some way to break through the wall of explosion that ApolloKage has been setting up so well over the course of this set. holding the grenades and the discipline to hold shield and cook your grenades versus Mega Man. I cannot give ApolloKage enough props for this. But MPG's Leaf Shield just putting in so much work, 99% on the board. Have to find a way around this Nikita, but more importantly, have to find a way around the control ApolloKage has on you.
Yeah, exactly, and the control, again, in this matchup, it just feels so incredible to watch him sort of strategize around the weaknesses inherently of this matchup, because pellets can explode grenades, so ApolloKage's typical answer to that is jumping in with that back air, clanking with the pellets, but then more recently, we've seen him Z-drop the grenades on the platforms, we've seen him pick up the grenades into the back air, and just that whole slew of tools and innovations that ApolloKage has made in this matchup is absolutely going to mandate him a state further in this top 8 winner side.
It's just so impressive to see how much control they have of their character, using the full kit, up air, back air, forward air, to take stocks in so many different ways. ApolloKage really showing the full capabilities of Snake, but I cannot stress enough how impressive it is to see ApolloKage follow up off of errant explosions, whether it's through a back air, whether it's through an up air, and just contesting the various landings of MPG over the course of the entire set.
Yeah, ApolloKage, absolutely one of the best in the world at that. Not only following up grenades with aerials, but also with other grenades, and then sometimes grounded moves like dash attack, just always having a follow-up no matter what. I mean, I just can't stop thinking about that one off-stage interaction where it really looked like it was MPG's, stock to take there, and then somehow, some way, ApolloKage, through an incredible just grenade setup, was able to actually take MPG off the top and return to stage safely. Just, again, I can't say it enough, just the creativity from that player to look at a matchup that has been storied for